But today I've seen 3 performances from 3 players, Ronaldo, Bruno, and Rashford, amongst many others, that for me should not have been on that football pitch at the end of the game. And I know you can only make 3 subs, but today, honestly, I would have made 6. The performance was disgraceful. We move. It's not the end of the world, right? It is the beginning of the Ralph Rangnick era. I'm not about to overreact and say this guy's a failure, but I need to see better against Brentford. I absolutely need to see better.
No, I agree with you on that. And your point there about Rashford as an example, Rashford and Bruno especially. And beyond Rashford and Bruno, I also think there's an element of we need to make sure that balance is in the team. And I think when you look at Bruno's, when you look at Rashford's, when you look at Ronaldo's, I'm not suggesting they play the same way, but they have a similar trait. They don't hold the ball up. They do bring other people into play, but they're not like a Cavani, as an example. They're not like a Sancho in that mold, or a Donny. They're different. And I think what is that we'd have too many scorers on, people that want to be the goal scorer, and not enough creators. And it's very early under Ralph, but I think he has to... And maybe this has been a case of, look, maybe he's being smart right now, Ralph. Maybe he's thinking, look, I'm going to keep the team as what I inherited in terms of the team that beat Arsenal. I'm going to give them 1, 2, 3 chances, but then I'm going to slowly bleed in my methodology. If you look at Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea, in his first 4 or 5 games, it was like, where's Chilwell? Why is Alonso suddenly starting these games? There was 2 or 3 players that we expected to see instantly under Tuchel, and it took time to bleed them in. So maybe that's because he's brought in Telles and Dalot, and it's almost a case of maybe he doesn't want to suddenly introduce 5, 6, 7 new first-teamers because he doesn't want to upset the apple cart too much. I'm not too sure, but he has to make a decision soon.
He has to be proactive about it, and that's really the word for me. Under Ollie, I didn't think he made enough proactive decisions. It was often we'd lose a game, and then he'd change the shape of the team. For me, it shouldn't take... Imagine we lose to Brentford this week, playing the same way with the same players, and then he makes a decision. I think he needs to see... Maybe he hasn't seen it yet. Maybe they don't exist. I'm just a fan at the end of the day. Maybe he feels that this team just needs more time. But I just hope that it doesn't take us getting smacked in the face for us to make a decision to, okay, now we're going to bring this guy in, this guy in, this guy in. Let's identify the problem before it becomes too much of one.
I hear you. How about yourself, Prime? Like, you're looking at Rashford's performance right now. Do you feel like he's got to be dropped? Do you think Man United fans are overreacting?
Yes, I do think he needs to be dropped. But a lot of it from his point of view, I think he's just lacking confidence, lacking form, and he just needs a bit of a rest. Like and I don't, the venom and hatred that goes towards him, I don't side with that at all. Like, he's been one of your best players for the past, 3 years, 4 years now. And like the fact that he doesn't show that respect towards him, United fans don't show that respect towards him, is madness to me. But yeah, he does need to be taken out. Let him rest for 5 games or whatever, and then let's see how he comes back. Because I think if Rangnick can get the best out of him, he can go levels beyond what he was doing with Ollie.
I mean, I think he has to, because I think with Rashford, right, this is his time now. He is now at the age, and we're looking at Martial, who's his age mate. Everyone loves comparing the two. Martial is gone. Like that, he's old news. He's going to be leaving this window. Rashford is still in this team. He has an opportunity. He's approaching his peak years. He's not there yet, but he's approaching it. This is his chance. Take it and show us the player you can be. Because for me, I think I look at his development over the last few years. I don't think he's done enough. He hasn't improved enough for me to be where he should be with all the talent and the ability he has. I want to see Rashford in this role under Rangnick with a new lease of life, take his opportunity. The last 2 games, he hasn't done it for me.
But to say that's not entirely fair. You're saying in terms of his progression, but if he's not being coached properly, like, again, Ollie's bad and terrible. If you're not having the right coach to improve, is that really fair to say?
No doubt, but also it's a lot personally as well. I think he needs to take it upon himself to really improve some of the stuff. Because for me, the biggest one for me with Rashford, you tell me if you disagree, Terry, or anyone, is his decision making. He'll get to the final stage and he won't pick his head up. For me, that's maturity, and I think that's really something you have to. Yeah, it is coaching for sure, but you have to take it upon yourself. And I think he's at that age now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing with it is that what you'll find is some people, again, it's how we are on socials. It will be, I always said that he was bad at this. And they're like, yeah, you have always said that. I was just more willing to give him time to learn and develop, where you didn't want him to even play at all. You wanted him gone. And I kind of feel like that's just not how I am a person. The Martial debate's a dead one to me, because he's been crap for the last 12 months as well. Yeah. They both have. So it's almost a case of, I don't do micro penis competitions. They're both tiny penises. Both Martial and Rashford are tiny penises. One might be...
Go ahead.
One might be this much bigger. One might be, it's like half a centimeter bigger. But neither of you are Do you know what I mean? Neither of you are going to smash by that. Do you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they're not where they want to be. And it's not a case of Martial versus, because the one thing I want Ralph to get out of this football club is player FC has got to go.
It has to.
Player agenda has got to go. It's a boring debate. Talking about individual players is key. But if Rashford's playing badly, the name that shouldn't straight away come out of people's mouths is, see, Martial should be in that team. He'd be better. I don't even listen to those people anymore because I just think you're not even really focusing on Man United. You're focusing on your agenda and being right. And it's just really, really boring now. You know, but taking all that aside, Rashford does need to be dropped. He needs to be out of this Manchester United team. For one, whatever people's rationale or reasoning to it is, whether you never thought he was good enough, whether you think he's just in bad form, irrespective of that, he should not be starting on Tuesday. I pray to God. It's only a couple of days rest. So you would hope there's rotation anyway, but he needs to be on that bench. Greenwood's got to be starting. I was frustrated to see Sancho come off again today because I think with players around Sancho that are in better form, making more intelligent runs, it would help Sancho cook a little bit as well. Like Ram, from your perspective, we're going to go to some calls in a minute, but Ram, like, do you feel like Rashford needs time out of the team or again, do you think he'd be better off served playing himself back into form?
I think it's a case of both. I really do think the balance in your attack is not right. I think there was a situation in the game. I think Sky Sports showed us that a lot of your attack-minded players were on the left-hand side of the pitch. I think it was Rashford, Bruno, and Sancho, and their whole right-hand side of the pitch was empty. I think it was only Diogo Dalot that was there. So I think it's a case of Rashford isn't playing well and his decision-making is not there, but the balance in your attack doesn't help that in any way, shape, or form.
I think too as well that the front three, I just don't think that three works together. Honestly, I don't think this is a trio that can bring long-term success to United.
I agree completely. I think it's getting that balance right. And on paper, you think Bruno and Rashford can be prolific as an example. You got Rashford that scores. Ronaldo and Bruno could be prolific because of both their goal scorings. But it's about getting the right balance. And Sir Alf Ramsey, one of the greatest managers of all time, always said, I don't pick my best players, I pick my best team.
Facts.
And that is what Manchester, and that's what we need. And by the way, I'm confident Ralph's going to do that. So, notice I haven't really mentioned Ralph as in being, oh, why has he not done this? He is learning about his players. And sometimes what you need to do is you need to give people enough rope to hang themselves. It's almost, okay, Scott, I'm going to keep you in the... Scott McTominay is a great example. You're going to stay in the team for a few games. I want to see more of X, Y, and Z from you. Show me if you can do it. Now, if he keeps playing him, then he's giving Ralph Rangnick what he wants. If he doesn't, it creates less of an opportunity if there being a divide and a problem in the dressing room, because it wasn't like they were just ostracized from day one in the team. They were given a chance to prove they're good enough. It doesn't matter for a moment whether I think or you think he is. They've been given an opportunity and a chance. And Rashford's had 2 games now. He's done practically nothing. And I think it is, based on that and his form, it's almost a case of somebody else needs an opportunity in there. 100%. We've got to become that ruthless now as a team. And the biggest mistake Ollie made was continually picking the same people, even when they were in bad form. It turned the fans against each other. I think it caused problems in the dressing room, a big divide, and no cohesion. But viewers, look, we want to know what you think and feel. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and share. If you want to see the rest of this video or more content from the Football Terrace, please click on the link, check out our YouTube channel, and make sure you're subscribing. We look forward to seeing more of you. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.